Welcome to Brothers King Talk, where we view eternity through the lens of art. My name is Samuel.
And I'm Solly.
And I'm Chris.
Trademark pending.
Not the Solly, Samuel, and Chris bit, the Brothers King Talk. We are rebranding. Yay! Not that anyone cares. But
Brothers King Media is now our umbrella, by which all our other segments will be underneath.
And hopefully, people will listen to this in the future. If you're in the future, hello. And put it in the comments so we can be like, hi, from the future.
This is April 16th, 2019. Let us know what it's like in 3019.
Let us know you care.
Or at least 2021. How about that?
Maybe 2021. We got a 2-year plan here.
Yes.
It'd be more realistic to have a 10-year plan.
Okay, fine. 2029.
I'm joking. No, please, 2 years. I ain't got all the time in the world. I've got a terminal condition called living, which means I'm dying every day.
True. I mean, we're all dying, just some more
That's
quickly
awesome.
than others.
I just had an epiphany. Living is a terminal condition.
That's why we're all
mind
terminal.
blowing, man. I'm going to write a book about that now.
I mean, dude.
I thought you were saying you were going to write a song about it. It's like, okay.
Well, no, we already did that. I'm terminal.
It's called terminal. Hence the word terminal.
Neither here nor there. So for those that are maybe listening in the future, yes, that happened. Maybe they'll be listening to like the ones before it and be like, how come they changed it? This is why we changed our name.
This
Trademark.
is why. This is exactly why. It's called branding. It's a very big part of marketing. I've been researching a lot this week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a wealth of information.
It's all good.
There's an end to my information. So don't ask me too many questions because I want to seem wealthed.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and jump right in here. And we actually get to move up to number 3 in the billboards this week because things have changed.
Stay at number 3.
Well, we was down to number 4 last week.
No. What were we?
Yeah, we was down to number 4 last week with Casting Crowns.
Okay.
Because it was Lauren Daigle with You Say.
And then
for King Country.
Who You Say I Am or something like that.
Who You Say I Am. Lots of saying songs.
Yeah.
And then
they're just saying,
Hillsong Worship with
Hillsong Worship was number
3. I forget what that one was.
Yeah.
And then number 4, Casting Crowns.
What You Say.
And then what was the Casting Crowns song at number 4? That was
Only Jesus.
Okay, so we had 3 says and then a Jesus.
Yeah. At least one of those guys on the top Billboard charts was Christian.
I was just thinking that song, Who You Say I Am, and then you said, Who You Say I Am. I was like, man.
So we actually get to move up to number 3 this week. Number 1 is still Lauren Daigle with You Say. Number 2 is still for King Country with What You Say. What You Say, Who You Say.
No, Who You Say I Am, or What You Say.
I forget.
What He Says of Me, or something like that. It's something weird. Something with the word say in it.
Someone has to knock her off her throne. Bump her down to number 3. Make her feel.
That's unchristian of you.
Well, no, so Lauren Daigle is just so good.
She's so good. She's got the number 1 Billboard and the number 3, doesn't she?
Yes, number 3. So what's the number 3 song is Lauren Daigle.
Right,
which is actually a pretty good song. Very, very strong intonations of Adele.
Look Up Child.
Look Up Child. Well, is she telling us to go on Google and look up child? Or like what? Like, what is this song saying to us, man?
Look up to God. I think it's pretty basic.
Look up to God, child.
I'm definitely
That's
getting...
what my mom says before she spanks me.
Well.
Look up, child. Okay. That was painful. Anyway.
Yeah,
memories.
I do get the strong Adele vibe, though. I get why she gets that comparison a lot.
I get why she hits the charts, because she has that comparison. Like, literally, if you listen to Adele, one of Adele's modern songs, well, okay, all of her songs are modern, but if you listen to one of her newer songs compared to Lauren Daigle's newer songs, it's pretty accurately coincided.
Which I find interesting, because I wonder if that's not a little bit of like label interference. Like, the the label said, you know what? Right now, Adele is the highest selling grossing, maybe not the highest grossing female artist, but one of.
No, she is. I'm pretty sure.
No, that's like, that one goes to, I can't think of her name, like Beyonce or something. But
Lady Gaga.
No,
I know. I'm just joking.
Neither here nor there.
I know nothing about any of these people. I don't listen to modern female artists, honestly. I just don't. It's
We
not
had this
something I'm
conversation
into.
last week,
Yeah,
you
we
know.
did have this conversation last week. This is the prerequisite to that conversation.
So I almost wonder if a producer didn't go, you know what, this is what's selling over on secular radio. Let's go ahead and you have a pretty good voice. Let's make you sound like her.
Right.
I would hope not. I would hope she has her own voice, has kind of her own style. And, you know, I mean, if you're just truly that inspired by Adele, there's worse you could do to be inspired by all means.
Kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I think that you need to work with what you got because, you know, there's a saying that goes around that says, like, you know, imitation is the best form of flattery. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you've got Kevin Max, who's very often been, like compared to Bono.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, it's just one of those things that I think is really... Okay, so, like, I mean, yeah, Kevin Max compared to Bono, and then there's Mark Martel, who was part of...
The Queen
From
Extravaganza.
Here, well...
From Down Here.
From Down Here. And he was compared a lot to Kevin Max for a while.
He was, yeah.
I mean,
he's
been compared a lot to a lot of people.
But
you know,
Kevin Max, when he first got started.
when he first got started, he had that sound.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I remember that being my first idea of what Mark Martel sounded like when you introduced me to Down Here. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, I think that it's okay for you to be like, hey, what if we can make this sound like this artist? Because, like I said, imitation is the best form of flattery. Kudos to them for being able to match that, you know? But, yeah, I see what you're saying on the other hand where, yeah, it should be your own voice, it should be your own music, and I feel like that, I feel like Lauren Daigle does do that a lot. She tells her own story. She doesn't care what other people are saying. Mm-hmm. She tells her own story. That's how she that's how she makes it her own. Whereas, you know, you've got the other artists that are like, oh, let's just do what everyone else is doing. Now, I try sometimes to be like, oh, I really want this song to sound like Keith Green, but still do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's always okay to try to
imitate,
go up to par with some of these other artists. Mm-hmm. It's all right. So, I mean, that's how I stand on that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is sometimes when you can hear it so badly, like, there was no originality there. That was just copy and paste.
Yeah.
But sometimes, yeah, it's just imitation.
Right.
Chris, how do you feel about Look Up Child?
Look Up Child. I'm not a fan at the moment. I hear that song so many times at work. I just try to drown it out. She's a good singer, and I don't listen to her enough to talk about her. But I don't like the song, honestly. It's gotten to me where I was like, I'm done.
Fair enough.
But it was a good song the first 3 times I heard it.
Okay, and then you heard it 30 more times.
And then I was like, okay, moving on. But yeah, she has a great voice, and I see what she's doing with her music so far, where she's trying to be herself, you know, and like Solomon said, write stories and in songs and stuff. I don't care. There's nothing else for her to say about her, really, because I don't really listen to her as often.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I'm in my having 2 songs I've seen of hers on the top of the billboards so many weeks consecutive.
I'm kind of sick of her too, man.
No, I'm not sick of her. I'm actually intrigued. Like, now I need
I'm joking.
Okay. Now I need to go out and, like, listen to some of her albums, though.
Yeah, listen to her albums. Maybe we should all do that. Just a little bit of, homework for the whole podcast. It'd be part of. I mean, because surely she'll be up there next week.
I know. It wouldn't be funny if, like, we get there next week and it's like, oh, she's gone. Oh, Phillips Craig and Dean, what are you doing in here?
Wait, you still exist? You're still living? Yeah.
You're still living?
Are you still living?
There we go. That's the number 3 song on the Hot Christian Billboard charts.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Nothing too much to say. I mean, like, kudos to her. She's up there. 2 songs in the top 3, man.
Doing good.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time to get some good quality music up there for a minute.
Right, and that's something about her music. I've noticed it doesn't follow a lot of the CCM
Pop
style,
trends.
the pop trend. It's got a little bit, I mean, not too much, but it's like that soft, slow rock vibe to it, you know?
Almost like a jazzy.
Yeah, almost like a jazz. Yeah, I mean, that's like a... well, I forget. Look Up Child kind of has like that reggae kind of thing going with it, which is good, man. Like, that's where our music needs to start going to. Get some beat up in there.
Yeah.
You know, as much as people think the beat is of Satan, you know?
well, but not necessarily the EDM beat. Please.
Right. Come on, guys.
Not everything has to have a bass drop.
Boom.
All right, let's go ahead and move. Speaking of artists being put together by management, being put together by record labels, et cetera, and so forth, let's go ahead and talk about one of the worst cases of being produced by a record label in recent history in Christian music. And that would be whatever happened, Solomon, to Audio Adrenaline. Specifically, Audio Adrenaline, what I call 4.0.
Right? Oh, God.
So,
whatever happened? Like, I want to know what happened to Audio Adrenaline. Like, now it's just marketing the name, pretty much, because their songs are nothing compared to what they used to be with, like, you know, pre-Audio Adrenaline with
Mark Stewart, Tyler
Burkham. Tyler Burkham, and then, you know, like, what is it, mid Audio Adrenaline with Kevin Max. I mean,
which was like one album,
and there was, you could see the kind of a dramatic, not too much of a dramatic change, but you could see a 45 degree angle. Mm-hmm. But now it's like a completely 180 with
Adam Agee.
Yeah, Adam Agee.
I think I'm saying... I'm sorry, Adam, whatever your last name. The previous lead singer of Stellar Cars.
Yeah, that's not the only thing we're apologizing for tonight.
So let me give you... You asked whatever happened to Audio Adrenaline in general. So let me give you a little bit of...
Let's hear about this.
Okay, I will give you my Samuel King scholarly report here.
Right.
So Audio Adrenaline formed in the late 80s. The two main members that stuck around for the whole entire life of the band were Mark Stewart and bassist Will McGinnis. They cycled through a handful of members starting out until they finally kind of settled down with the core four, if you will, like most bands, of Tyler Burkham on guitar and Ben Sissel on drums.
Right.
And that was Audio Adrenaline from like the mid-90s until they retired in 2006.
Essentially what you're saying is that was Audio Adrenaline.
Yeah.
like that is the Audio Adrenaline everyone misses.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
And then they got to 2006. By that point, Tyler Burkham was sharing and even doing a lot of lead vocals for Mark Stewart because his voice was just going.
Just so many years of wear and tear and singing. The way he did, especially, he had a very raspy rock voice. Which, I mean, that years of doing that will really tear a guy up. So,
and then
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
And then he contracted like a disease or something where basically his vocal cords would just like go paralyzed every once in a while, and so his voice would just
cut out completely
in the middle of a song.
Yeah. So he was like, right here's where I noticed that my voice is going to go out. So you, Tyler Burkham, you're going to do this.
Well, they also, for a while, even had another backup guitarist who was just there for... He was there for a second guitar, but he was also there for, if Mark Stewart's voice went out, they would have someone else singing his parts.
Right, Tyler Burkham.
Well, no, Tyler Burkham had his own part, so they had someone
they had someone just to sing.
And play the guitar, but also sing Mark Stewart's parts if his voice
so that he
went out.
wasn't just awkwardly standing there like, I'm just the guy. I'm on the bench right now.
Yeah.
It's like, hi guys, I'm just.
And he was actually a really talented guitar player.
I bet. I mean, Audio Adrenaline.
I mean, yeah. So that's what happened. So they broke up, and then what happened? And I kind of wish the band would have continued with like Tyler Burkham in the lead.
Right.
But Tyler Burkham went ahead and he went to play with, darn it, I can't think of his name now, Matt Kearney. And he's, to this day, he's Matt Kearney's live guitarist.
Right.
There's like BFFs, I guess.
BFFs.
And a weird thing happened. After that is when Newsboys rebooted with Michael Tate of DC Talk fame.
Right.
And they were a huge success. Like, they almost are at this point almost bigger than the Newsboys were in their heyday.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So the manager of the Newsboys said, I have an idea. Let's reboot Audio Adrenaline with another DC Talk alumni.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, let's just go ahead. Audio Adrenaline's working for you. Let's see if we can kickstart, let's get these guys back up with the... Yeah, they're trying to... I see what they're doing. They're trying to rope replicate. In... They're trying to rope in... DC Talk, man.
Yeah.
What are they gonna throw Toby Mac in with?
Well, he was a successful enough solo.
Right. Okay,
person.
That's true. Yeah, I was about to say, what are they gonna throw him in with some group that breaks up?
I know.
It'd
right?
be like, oh, Toby Mac, you are not Toby Mac in Diverse City. You are now such and such.
Toby Mac and Third Day.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they didn't do that.
All right, guys. We're going to rap some stuff now, man. What? Like, what is, like, could you imagine that? Like,
oh, that'd be
what
sad.
is one of Third Day's, like, what is it?
You're in love,
we're together.
Lord.
Wait,
okay.
We need to come together. You feel all right. All right.
Yeah.
It's like, I got my cowboy hat on, too,
my
man.
My question is, before Kevin Max came to Audio Adrenaline, were they good before he came in, or were they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Audio Adrenaline.
No,
was like
they were
the,
superb, man.
Like, okay, so there was like the big three Christian groups during the '90s, early 2000s. It was Audio Adrenaline, Newsboys, DC Talk. Ironically enough, they all got rebooted with each other in a weird way.
Which I think that was not ironic. I think it was planned.
Very planned.
I think this is a conspiracy.
And so Will McGinnis came back as the bass player during this air with Kevin Max.
Right.
And then they went ahead and drafted, and I can never say his last name correctly, Dave Gazarian as the guitar player.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's Super Chick's guitar player.
Was Super Chick's guitar player.
And then he's phenomenal. And then they went ahead and got Jared Byer of Bleach fame on drums.
Oh boy!
So that it was an all-star band,
right? This is like our idea of a supergroup, man.
Yeah, and Mark Stewart was behind it because he had a missions project, Hands and Feet. It was all about taking care of kids in Haiti, which I'm all for. Take care of the orphans.
Hence the hit song "Hands and Feet."
Yes, exactly. And so the big thing with Audio Adrenaline 2.0.
No, that's Kings and Queens.
Yeah.
Well,
Kings
both of them.
Hands and Feet was not a song.
Yes, it was. I want to be
little
a
hands. Oh, okay.
It was an Audio A song.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't thinking of that.
hands.
I was thinking Kings and Queens Kings and
song.
Queens with
Love that song.
Kevin Max, because I think that was like their second. Like, okay, I'm rebooting this thing again, Kevin. You got to like write one, man.
Yeah,
or he wrote one.
I don't think Kevin Max even wrote it.
Yeah, he probably didn't even write very much. If you think about it, he probably didn't write very much because his style of music was kind of offshore compared to these guys. Like these are the guys that write straight like Christian stuff. A lot of Kevin Max stuff is like
very poetic.
Very poetic slash like I love you so much I'll kill myself almost.
Almost, I can hear
Like-
that some of his stuff.
Very emo. Like if you guys have seen like music videos, DC Talk music videos, mainly Supernatural, the live performance of that, he is very emo-esque, like got the whole black hair, like edged, like jagged edge, the eyeliner, the earrings, and I really think that he looks like Anthony Haney.
Okay.
Like, I think he did in that video.
Does.
He does so much. I was like, Anthony, this is your look, man. Like, yeah, I mean, you guys would know who Anthony Haney
Well, I say
is,
we
but
do not represent this Anthony kid, and we're sorry for.
He's just one of my friends. I love him very much. But for the sake of this podcast, we will change his name to Bob. Bob.
Yeah,
Has a very
put one of
unique
his
look.
Kevin Max's hats on. He has on his Instagram, whatever. It's like a really like top hat kind of, but it's like round, like a cowboy hat kind of. I've seen it on Instagram a few times.
You talking about Mickey Mac?
No, I'm talking about Kevin Max.
Well, okay. So coming back to.
Sorry,
You're fine.
It sounded like something Motley Crue's guitar player would wear. Like a big old top hat that's like down, like
It's not
right
a top
above his
hat.
eye.
It's like a weird, I don't know.
Oh, like those
Moving on.
fedora, weird looking thing.
No.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Moving
about,
on.
but yeah, we're moving on now.
So Mark Stewart was all behind this. He's like, yes, let's get more awareness for Hands and Feet. I want that to be the big thing, right?
Yeah.
The first single, Kings and Queens, was all about hands and feet, right?
Little hands, shoeless feet.
Yeah, so it was a big deal. And they were successful. Kings and Queens was a huge hit.
Right, it was a huge hit. It was on the radio for years.
And they, like I said, they were a supergroup. They didn't get to write much of that first album, but they were good together. If I could choose a supergroup, that is a supergroup I would have chosen.
Right.
And then came the fallout. So, as you mentioned, Kevin Max has his own style of writing, and he was writing for the next Audio Adrenaline album. He was writing in really good songs, and this is where I think a lot of it had to do with management and production. The managers came to him and said, "Well, we want Audio Adrenaline to be a worship band." Specifically for this Acquire the Fire conference. We want, and Kevin Max is like,
all right, I am already off my rocker a little too far than I want to be. He's like, I'm done, man.
Pretty much. He's like, I've already written over half this next album. And none of them are worship songs.
None of them are worship songs. I was thinking some little emo rock,
or indie rock, whatever. And so he's like, bye. So Kevin Max left. Before that, David Garzian had already left as well. And then, not too long after, drummer Jared Beyer left.
Right.
And so, here's where... So Audio Adrenaline rebooted again.
No, they didn't.
Oh, no, they did.
No, I know they did, but they really didn't.
So
they're marketing the name.
No, stick with me. So they actually rebooted with Josh Engler of
Stellar
Abandon.
Abandon. Okay.
A group called Abandon.
Right.
They got a new guitar player from Sonic Flood, Dwayne Laring.
So that's where they went.
Yeah. And so they had this, for a hot second, 6 months, they had another pseudo supergroup. Will McGinnis was still a bass player. And then I think it had to be management. Was like, you know what? You guys are just not cutting it.
Nope.
So they said reboot again. This is why I say it's Audio Adrenaline 4.0.
Yeah. Fourth time, not so lucky.
Yeah. And so they rebooted again, and this time released an album with Adam Agee on lead vocals, Dave Stivell on bass guitar. He's actually the former lead singer of Waverly. Which we will talk about in more detail at a later point, but I think they're a phenomenal band. And then a guy named Brandon Bagby, who was, ironically enough, part of Seventh Day Slumber. Wait, no, I'm thinking of a different group. But regardless, he was the bass player for, or the guitar player for Seventh Day Slumber, and the touring bass player for Plum. And then they got a random guy on drums named Jack Campbell. I'm sure I've heard his name somewhere, but I can't think
Campbell
of it.
Chicken Noodle Soup. Hey, this proves there are possibilities.
So we get Audio Adrenaline 4.0. Solomon, how did Audio Adrenaline 4.0 sound?
Do you want the truth, or do you want me to?
The truth
sugarcoat it.
The truth within reason.
The truth within reason. Let's just say, as I've said many times this evening, they were marketing the name, but they got what they wanted. It is now a worship band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so much so that it's unrealistic to call them Audio Adrenaline. It should be more like Audio Melatonin.
That was funny.
Thank you. I just came up with that off the fly.
And, man, I think it's sad because, once again, they had a good group together. Even just Adam Agee and Dave Stivell together would have been a good duo.
They just need to rename the new band, and they might actually make it. I'm just saying, because, at this point, everyone our age, there's some huge age gap here.
Uh-huh.
Everyone your age, Samuel, knows Audio Adrenaline as Mark
Stewart.
Yeah, Mark Stewart.
Mainly Mark Stewart. Everyone my age knows them as knows them with Kevin Max. Everyone 15 years and younger knows this new group. And as I said before, this is part of the conspiracy. We're trying to turn it into all worship music.
So people are going to be like, oh, yeah, man, I've listened to Audio Adrenaline before. Oh, what's your favorite song? I'm 90 years old. I love them, too. Oh, my favorite song is that one. What's it called?
Sound of the Saints?
Yeah, Sound of the Saints. What? Like, they've never heard the old Audio Adrenaline. They need to know what Audio Adrenaline is, not what it's made out to be now. Like I said, okay, they are marketing the name. I'm not discrediting the music of this band. Mm-hmm. I'm discrediting the music being put with that name.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing. Very good song. I mean, it's a very good worship song that they wrote. I don't remember what it's called again. But anyway.
You just said
it was kind of forgettable.
Yeah, I know. It is forgettable. Oh, yeah, Sound of the Saints. It's like Sound of Music. Yes, that one. You know? But, like, it's a good song. I would listen to it again, maybe. But it's not Audio Adrenaline. So.
Yeah. And it's not even. It's so generic. Any band could sing this song. That's the problem.
Right.
This has no unique identifiers
There's
to say this
there's
is.
nothing that.
This is just, you could slap this song on
you could slap this song on Stellar Cart. Kind of. It reminded me a lot of All and Apologize.
You could slap that song, though, on Hawk Nelson.
Oh
you could
my
slap that
gosh.
song on We Are Messengers.
The now Hawk Nelson.
Yeah, the current Hawk Nelson.
You could have slapped that on original Hawk Nelson.
But, like, now Hawk
They
Nelson...
would have puked it out.
But now Hawk Nelson, heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh, all day long, man.
Back then when it was the song "Bring It Out," that kind of far back. Okay, yeah, that was.
You could even man, you could slap this even. I would dare say, like, I'm trying to think of another contemporary artist. I have failed to follow them very well. Danny Goki. Could sing that song and it would sound perfect with him.
I don't know, man. Actually, that's one I'm going to kind of fight with a little bit.
Okay.
Because he's actually got kind of a unique thing going for him. He's not just that, like everyone's like, oh yeah, I like that electronic thing he does. But really, he's got all instruments. Like, he plays the piano. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, live he has a band. He just doesn't go in with a band in the studio.
Okay, fair enough.
But, like, live, he can be pretty rocky, man. He can have a little bit of that rock vibe to him. But, I mean, then on the other hand...
But could you hear him
say
singing
goodbye
the song?
to where you've been, something. Yesterday is almost gone. Whatever. I could see him sing this, I guess. Now that I'm thinking about it more deeper, yeah, you could slap this on Danny Goki.
So I wish it had more of a unique thumbprint. That's really all I'm asking for.
Right, and that's all we ever ask for. That's all we ever ask for. So bands that are listening to us that are forming, please put a thumbprint on your music. If you break up, stay broke up. Unless you can find somebody that's going to match your thumbprint. If you have a genetic twin that can match your thumbprint, do it.
So here's what I know. I'm not manager. I'm not the one with money. But here's how I would have done Audio Adrenaline. Because I know a big part of their thing is, the hands and feet, taking care of the kids in Haiti. So what if, in an alternate universe, they say, okay, yes, we're going to reboot Audio Adrenaline. And I personally just skip the Kevin Max bit. You know what? Kevin Max, him and we'll talk about it here in a minute, but him and his friends go and form one of the best supergroups ever, and they call it, I don't know, they call it the Wanderers, right?
Okay.
Anyhow, so they reboot Audio Adrenaline. Let's just say this current version, but they don't call it Audio Adrenaline. They call it Hands and Feet. That's the band's name, and they're like, you know what? We're a tribute to Audio Adrenaline. We support this charity. And, we even cover a few Audio Adrenaline songs in concert. But our big thing is to be a worship band, promoting this charity.
That would be lit.
I could deal that.
I could deal with that. See, that's what I could deal with. If as said, Audio Adrenaline 4.0 did that, I could get behind that. There we go. Because, what they're doing now is a little bit more churchy. You could be stuck behind we're doing this, it's a missions thing. But we also do some of these old songs.
It feels like such a...
Like Ocean Floor, that should be done again, you know? Like, that's one of their huge songs.
And I would love hearing this version of Audio Adrenaline do Ocean Floor. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not... Because it's not like they don't have potential.
Yeah.
Because they have adequate...
talent.
A sustainable amount of talent and very adequate potential. Like... it just, like I said, or like you've said many times, it's like all in the management, all in the producer, all in the label. It's all in what they want. It's what that group's want, and it's what they're seeing is selling. Another part of marketing, which, like us, we get to do our own thing, man, because that's what podcasts is. Doing our own thing. Yeah.
It just sadly it just feels all so insincere. That's the problem. It feels so insincere, and I want it to be sincere.
And yeah, I mean, as sad as that is, we're not saying it's not sincere. We're just saying it doesn't feel. Which, if I was sincerely doing something with, like, if I was doing something with complete 100% sincerity, I would want my audience and viewers and listeners, I would want them feeling the sincerity, which would probably suck for, Audio Adrenaline 4.0, because they're like, what if they are doing it with sincerity and people like us are out here critiquing it like, oh my God, they're not Audio Adrenaline, And that's, I mean, we're not saying they have to be. We're just saying what it should be, what it could be, and how it would work. Yeah, that's all we're saying. So we're not discrediting them. We're critiquing them viciously.
We're playing. I hate it when people do this. We are playing. What is it?
Critic?
No, rock. What is it? It's recliner chair football.
Oh,
we're saying what we would do when we're not out there.
Yeah,
doing
we
it,
would.
but
This is what we would do, but sitting back on a recliner chair, eating our wings, sipping our soda.
Chris, we haven't heard much from you on this topic. How do you feel about all this?
Let me guess. You know nothing about Audio Adrenaline.
No, I like their older albums.
What are some of their songs that you like?
I can't remember any of the names, but if I heard it, I would know it. But like all the,
I mean, if nothing else, you've heard Big House. Everyone has heard that song.
Big House.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like I like when they used to do that kind of like techno stuff. Like some of that stuff.
They did have turntables, is what he's talking about.
Yeah, and I did like King and Queens. That was one of my favorite songs from their band.
Okay.
When Kevin Max was the singer, I wish they were still together. Like he was still with the band, because I listen to them all the time, but they're not. And I'm sad.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to listen to them now. It kind of hurts a little bit.
Well, and this is why I say whatever happened to them, because this came out in 2015, right? 2018, Adam Agee went on tour with the Newsboys as a solo artist.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like, what happened to Michael Tate? Like,
oh yeah, he's
what happened here? Because now we've had an Australian singer, a black singer, and a white singer. Let me guess, Jackie Chan's going to be singing for him next? No, the guitar player for 10th Avenue North.
Yeah,
Jeff Olslin or something.
Oh yeah, but no, he's went on tour as a solo artist, and so it just kind of, I think they just kind of gave up.
Did they give up?
Like, I don't, like, there is no word on the internet about what's happening with Audio Adrenaline.
Like,
Like, they stopped. So I'm just like, what happened to them? As far as we can tell, Adam Agee's just like, you know what? This isn't working. I think I'm just going to go play my own stuff.
Yeah, he's just like, yep, see ya. He's like, I'm sorry, but... I had a better thing going on with me.
Kevin Max did, though? He just left because he wanted to do his own thing?
Well, see, that's the thing.
But Kevin Max specifically left because he didn't want to be put into the box the management wanted him in, which I respect. I'm all for that.
What was that?
Worship music. They wanted him to... Well, not just worship, but they just wanted him to do their own... Like, what the management wrote, their songs. He wanted them to do all their stuff and not focus on writing his own music or anything, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
So
right, and that's why I would leave too.
So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I kind of hope Audio Adrenaline can just be laid to rest now.
Yeah, just bury them, guys. 6 feet under.
Like they were a good band. Let the band be.
Hey, maybe that's why they got it so slow and became Audio Melatonin. Because they're like, okay, we're gonna put this thing to rest.
Well.
Anyway, so
let's go ahead into our random topic.
Random topic.
It's not really random though, because we've been talking.
Yeah, because we've been talking about it all night. But anyway, it's like, what is our supergroup?
What would you make as a supergroup?
Where's my supergroup?
Yeah, pretty much. So as I said earlier, I was going to get this started. I would have loved it if when Kevin Max came, because Kevin Max, when he joined Audio A, for what they were at the time, he was We apologize for all the weird noises. It's Solomon's cup that's making all those noises.
I want some ice.
So when Kevin Max joined Audio Adrenaline, he was kind of his career was at a bit of a standstill.
Right.
He had done the solo thing, and he's such an eccentric artist. He just wasn't getting bought into by the mainstream at all. Like, he's amazing. He's just very eccentric. Like, if you look into his stuff at all. And so they kind of hit him at a low point in his career a bit. And really, the Audio Adrenaline thing kind of like was the shot in the arm he needed, because he went nuts with making album after album. He took all the Audio Adrenaline songs he wrote and made that an album. Then he proceeded to release like 3 albums in the next year.
Right.
Like, he was on fire after that.
Yeah, he was like killing it. He was like, I got so much music out here, man.
I would have loved to have seen what would have happened, though, if him and, Jared Byers, David Garzian, and Will McGinnis from Audio Adrenaline, they all just got together and said, you know what, let's make a supergroup.
Right.
And
because they were essentially already the supergroup.
Yeah.
Like, because none of them were from the same band, you know?
Yeah, and then just simply being like, you know what, Kevin, write us some songs.
Right.
And they just went out and rocked it. It
followed
would have
what he
sounded
wanted.
so good. Heck, even if they wanted to be like, okay, this is going back to what I just said, but let them be hands and feet. Though I think they would be sound cooler as like an indie rock band, you know.
Yeah.
But man, I would have loved just to have heard what that would have sounded like if they weren't stuck doing the management.
Like if the whole band quit the label.
Yeah.
You know what
they
I'm
were all
saying?
just like, you know what?
We're done. We're making our own music.
We're going to be the Wanderers, right? Or,
Or the Wandering.
Yeah. I could just hear Kevin Max doing a band like that.
Wasn't that Mauser's band name?
Oh, no, that was the... so technically it was also a CCM band, The Waiting.
The Waiting.
They were technically... There was a CCM band named The Waiting, and a lot of people consider them good. They have some good stuff. So that would be my first pick for supergroup. I would have loved to have heard what that would have sounded like naturally, without any interference from management.
Right.
What about you, Solly? What's your supergroup pick?
Man. Like, I just had one going through my head and I forgot. Just a second. Like, Chris.
What's your supergroup
Okay,
pick?
so we pick people who we want in a certain band, like drummers, guitarists.
Yeah.
All right, my first pick is lead singer is Kevin Max, because he's the bomb.
Okay.
But not like Kevin Max now. More like DC Talk, a little bit of DC Talk, and a little bit of Audio Adrenaline.
Okay.
And then I would have probably the drummer from like Duncan from Newsboys, because he's a really great drummer. I think he's like, always on it, and he's like super excited to be there. He's like a dog that just met a new owner or whatever. He's like super excited to be there or whatever.
Okay.
But then I would have guitarist. I gotta say Solomon, just because he's a great guitarist.
We're not plugging ourselves. Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did not pay him to say that.
He did. I was gonna surprise him and say
I'm
that.
in a super band.
Okay. How about knowing your tastes? What about Skillet's old guitar player, Ben Kasowski?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. How about him?
He's really good too. I like Jen Leather too. Her voice is like awesome. But I think that's almost my super group.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I'm not
that's
sure.
where-
I'm not sure on keys yet. I haven't really. Maybe John Cooper's wife from Skillet.
So we're just like, okay, so we'd have like this weird like rock indie thing that I don't know.
I mean, it's like if they were to come together and like, hey, let's do something different instead of doing what they're used to doing.
Okay.
Something different, like I can't think of a band who's done that before, but just doing their own things, coming together, like, hey, let's do this kind of music and see how it sounds, and then I would like to hear that. I would like to hear what they put together.
Okay, fair enough.
Just different groups and stuff,
All right, Solomon, what do you got?
Jody Davis, lead singer / lead guitarist.
That's brave and that's
Yes.
awesome. So for those that know, Jody Davis, current lead guitar player for Newsboys, but he's also done his own solo stuff for a while.
Has
as well.
he? I didn't know nothing
He had
about
like
this.
one solo album.
Huh, that's pretty cool. Anyway, Jody Davis,
He's a good vocalist,
lead
too.
soloist or lead vocals, lead guitar.
Okay.
That cuts out me having to pick a guitar player because I really genuinely like the way he does some stuff with his guitar. It's pretty, it's pretty shred worthy. Then, not only that, but then we have Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Peter Furler as the drummer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yes, this is
Newsboys,
but Peter Furler as the drummer.
Okay.
And not even the singer. Like maybe some backup.
Just have him drumming though.
But
Okay.
just drummer. Because
Okay.
he was a pretty nutso drummer.
He was good.
Man. And then for the bassist, this is where it gets hard because there's not a lot of good bassists there are a lot of good bassists, but because of where the bass is at in the mix of songs, it's hard to pick a bassist. So what I would have to do here is go by what I know.
Okay.
And I might be criticized for this quite a bit.
Okay.
I would really like to hear. I'm sorry, this is not funny.
Okay, are they at least in the same time span where it would make sense for them to play together?
Now that's where I'm not sure.
So go ahead. How about just picking a bass player from a band? Just name a band and I'll look up their bass player.
Hold on, let me go from the time period. I gotta remember some bands from this time period.
So we're working 90s, early 2000s.
90s, yeah.
Please hold while Solomon calculates.
While I calculate. Crap nuggets.
I hate when I do that.
Lifehouse.
Okay, Lifehouse bass player.
Yeah,
Ooh, he would be
because he
good.
did like the whole violin thing with his bass one time,
Yeah.
and it was pretty lit. And like that's what I was thinking. I just couldn't remember. I don't know his name.
I know his name.
And-
Bryce something.
Yeah, Bryce. That's right, Bryce. I know that, but I don't know his last name. Is it Campbell?
No, it's
Bryce-
Bryce Soderbergh.
Soderbergh.
There you.
But
He
anyway,
would be rad. With
I
it.
think they would sound good as a trio.
and he would do good backup vocals.
Yeah. So therefore, we have good singers, good musicians, and that's the super band I think of. Because I've always, for some reason, I've just been thinking I really would like to hear Jody do some of his own stuff. Because I like his voice. He's got that whole like, like that. He can hit that. That alto, that strong alto.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You was originally going to say John Deacon, wasn't you?
John Deacon?
Was that who you was going to say?
Who's John Deacon?
Bass player for Queen.
Oh, no, I was never going to say Queen.
Oh, you wasn't? You was actually going for Lifehouse?
I was actually going for Lifehouse. I just couldn't remember his name.
Oh,
Because they had,
okay. That makes
they
me
had
happy.
the chunky bass player,
Okay.
but not him.
Okay, the second bass player.
Yeah, the blonde one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bryce Camp. Or
Right.
Not Campbell.
The
Whatever.
one that we
Vandenberg
see
or
on
something,
the guitar center, that little thing. And they're doing
Everything.
No, they weren't doing everything.
They were hanging by a moment.
Hanging by a moment, yeah. They were doing the whole,
Yeah.
I like that violin thing that he did with his bass.
Yeah, that
and
was
also,
rad.
I just think that all those songs, they aren't very much 90s. They're a little early 2000s. But still, I think, the kid bassist would be okay to
Yeah.
throw in that mix.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be
So,
a
yeah.
really cool band.
So, Jody Davis, Peter Furler, and
sorry.
Bryce.
Bryce.
No, Bryce
Soderbergh.
Soderbergh.
Sorry, buddy.
I did not say scrotum.
You said-
Bryce scrotum. Oops.
Whoops.
Sorry.
That's getting it out.
It was an accident.
Okay, moving on. Okay, there you have it. That's our picks for super groups. I mean, you could go all kinds of different directions. Maybe we'll revisit this topic later.
You gotta admit that I did give you a pretty unbelievable one.
I wouldn't have thought of that, so that's good.
Yeah.
I'm quite impressed.
I know. I'm quite impressed with myself too. That was off the fly.
I mean, you could even go, what would be your 90s supergroup, 80s Christian music supergroup, etc.
Yeah. Oh, 80s.
We'll get into that later, but
Oh man.
okay.
'Cause I already have it.
Okay, so let's go 80s just for the heck of it, right?
Yeah.
So let me just take some guesses. We've talked about this
Yeah,
before.
let's do this.
All right, so we got Keith Green on lead vocals and piano
Okay. Yeah.
because Keith Green is awesome.
Because Keith Green is Keith Green.
And then we have his producer Bill Maxwell playing some drums for him.
Yep.
And then we have Phil Keggy playing some lead guitar
There we go.
because Phil Keggy's the bomb diggity.
What was that bassist, man?
And then for bassist, there wasn't too many prominent bass players in the 80s.
Yeah.
I would say the bass player from Daniel Amos.
Oh, that's not what we talked about before.
Okay, yeah, you would have said
I said
John Deacon.
John Deacon became a Christian.
Yeah, in our alternate universe.
In our alternate universe, because Keith Green was such an outreach.
Yeah. So
they
Keith
met
Green
on the
did.
plane.
Keith Green didn't die, and he met John Deacon, And they became best buddies, and he converted John Deacon to Christianity, which I could totally see happening.
Right.
Like, John Deacon was the more calm out of the
Yeah,
band.
he was
right?
the more calm out of the band. And then eventually, he talks to Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury becomes a Christian too. And that's where we actually get the new, or the should have been.
Queen?
Yeah, not Queen. Crap, what's the name of that band? Oh, man.
I can't think of what you're talking about, buddy.
I'm trying to remember what I'm talking about. Not DC Talk, because that had just been weird. His style wasn't for that. But like,
This should have been Audio Adrenaline? No.
I don't know what I'm going with, but no.
I don't know.
Freddie Mercury should have been something Christian because it would have been great.
But then we got Mark Martel and Down Here. So it was
I mean, like, he lives on.
Oh man, we have veered all over the spectrum tonight. Guys, we are Brothers King, Brothers King Talk.
Right.
And keep being that glimpse of eternity.
Right on, boys.
See ya.